Welcome to the Dr. Mudgil podcast. This is episode 93. We are just building up our stockpile of podcasts here. We're hitting the end of summer. It is the very end of August. Labor Day is upon us. I hope you guys all have a fun Labor Day planned. Actually, I'm going to have a good time this weekend. One of my best buds from childhood is getting married, and I am fortunate to be officiating the wedding. So going forward, you can call me Reverend the Doc. But I'm excited for that. I've never done one of those before, so that'll be a lot of fun, and can have a great weekend with friends and family. But going back to the content of this podcast is going to be kind of like a hashtag thoughts of the week style podcast. This is actually a post I typically do this time of year when the kids are going back to school, and families that have kids that are of school age start to begin their that school year hustle again. My kids, much to their dismay, started school yesterday, and it really is a grind, especially when you have multiple kids. So, my wife and I have a system in place. We've worked it out through the years. We get up. My wife is on lunch duty. She makes the lunches. I make the breakfast. I do the first shift, the drop-offs, which is around 7 o'clock or 7:15. We leave the house. I do the middle school drop-off, which starts the earliest, and then we just kind of get through our day. But what I've spoken about in the past for the last couple of years is the family grind. So really what I love to do, and I think it's actually a very effective way to organize one's personal grind, is to align it with what's going on with the family. So when my kids start school, we're all getting up earlier as a family. My kids are grinding, they have schoolwork, they have homework, and then, when sports stuff starts, they're juggling that. Life, as I'm sure there are many parents just like me out there watching or listening to this. And, it's a grind. The weeks are very, very busy. The weekends are very, very busy with sports stuff and various activities. And, the family is grinding. My wife and I frequently, even on the weekends, would divide and conquer. Okay, you do this game, I'll do this game. We'll meet up at this game, and then we'll all grab dinner or something together. But what I've found is that I like to align my personal grind with my family's grind. I feel like it's a great way for us all to kind of grind together, and then we chill together. So the summer is when we generally take, the foot off the pedal a little bit. We're all kind of relaxing a little more. We get to spend a lot of time together, which is tons of fun. But all of us are kind of taking it a little bit easier during the summer months. And then for us, typically I was going to say when September hits, but for us, school has been starting the last week of August. So when the last week of August hits, we kind of get going again with our grind. And I'm going to kind of get into some specifics and some strategies that I personally use for aligning our grind. But what I've found is, my work grind is essentially the same. So I kind of divide things into categories, right? So my work grind is pretty constant. So all year round, I'm reading slides, I'm seeing patients, and that pretty much stays the same throughout the year. Sometimes they're busier than others. Like the summer does, maybe slow down a hair work does slow down a hair, I should say, during the summer months. But for the most part, it's busy all the time. So that stays constant. And, the personal stuff in my life, friends and family, the little wins I need to make with my family, telling everyone I love them, that sort of stuff, spending time with everybody, that pretty much stays constant as well, obviously, throughout the year. But for me, what does kind of change and what I do allocate a lot of energy towards is my fitness grind. And what I've found is, aligning my fitness goals and the pushes I make for fitness with what my family's doing, it actually is the best way to do it. So for instance, there's basically three big pushes through the year. There's from when school starts to Christmas, then there's from after the Christmas holiday to spring break, and then there's from spring break to the end of the year to June or the beginning of summer or whatever. So there's three distinct, grind periods in my mind that I define. And like I said, my work grind is essentially constant, and all of the personal stuff that I relationships, etc., is also a constant. But fitness is the one variable that I can manipulate. So I do try to align my family's grind with my own personal grind. So for instance, the time between now when the kids start school and Thanksgiving is a time that I devote to the bulking phase during fitness. For those of you who are into like, bodybuilding, lifting, that sort of stuff, you know that nutrition is by far the most important thing. And when you're trying to bulk up, you have to eat tremendous amounts of food. And it's literally, it's the hardest part. The workouts kind of stay constant, but consuming the calories is like a full-time job. So there are times where I'm consuming almost like 4,000 calories a day. And it's hard to fit that all in. But what I find is when I'm getting up early, taking my kids to school, everything kind of starts earlier and I'm kind of hustling a little bit. I can get like a solid pre-workout meal in, then I can work out, then I get my post-workout meal in, then I have another meal, then I have my final meal and like a snack, which enables me to get those like tremendous amount of calories in. And so like this for me, like this next few months are a big bulking phase, like from now until essentially like Thanksgiving, something like 12 weeks of just bulking. And then I do like a mini cut between Thanksgiving and Christmas. You usually go away for Christmas break. So you just try to get a little bit leaner for the holiday. And then after the holiday, there's a second, period of grind when the kids going back to school after Christmas break. And generally, there are a couple of days off and there's like a week off in February that they have. But I kind of, I bundle that into just the grind phase. And our next like stop is spring break, where we'll usually do something as a family, go on a trip or, do something fun. So I do like another bulk like during that period. So probably won't be as long as my fall bulk, but it'll be another bulk where I'm tracking my macros, getting X amount of carbs, X amount of protein, X amount of fat, very scrupulously doing it, which I pretty much do all year round. But, I'm much more lax in like the summer months when we're all kind of chilling together and like on vacations and that sort of thing. And then, our April break, which is, Easter time, we hang out, we relax. And then there's like a final push to the end of the year, which is, the kids finish up school, their final exams, AP exams, regents, all that sort of stuff. And that's usually like my cutting phase where I'm just getting in shape for the summer. And then when summer hits, take the foot off the gas, we all do, and, just kind of coast through the summer and maintain, still working out, still watching what I'm eating, but not as meticulously. And then again, the year starts again, and then that same process starts again. And, the goal really is for me, like I said, my work stuff stays constant, my personal stuff stays constant, but the one thing that I do manipulate is my fitness stuff. And the goal every year is to, get basically bigger and leaner as the year comes on. So I have more muscle mass, less body fat, and just try to like essentially get bigger and leaner from year to year. And I align that, which is, for me, it's like a personal thing. It's a goal that I have for myself. It's not for everybody, but something that I've fallen in love with and I enjoy doing, but also like it's something that really requires a lot of energy and attention and a lot of time. And it's very difficult to do that. In fact, it's not fun doing it at all when everyone else in my family is just kind of chilling, hanging out, eating dessert and, just hanging out by the pool. I want to enjoy those things with my family. I want to be able to spend quality time with my family. So like I said, when we're all chilling, we chill together. When we're all grinding, we grind together. And I find that's a very effective way to maintain your growth in whatever your personal goals may be. Because to be perfectly honest, once school starts and things get crazy, you're pulled in a million directions, it's very easy to lose sight of your goals, of what's important to you. So if you align what your personal goals are, what you need to get as wins to get one step closer to your personal goal with your family's grind, we're all busy. My kids are busy doing homework and projects and practice for sports and, all the millions of things that they do. But, we grind together, we chill together, a family that plays together, stays together, a family that grinds together, excels together. So those are my thoughts of the week as we are all approaching, we are actually in the midst of the beginning of the school year, but I think for most folks, they're starting after this coming weekend. So I wish you all a wonderful, restful final weekend of the summer, if that's what next weekend is for you guys. And I hope you're all just ready to crush the week and school year ahead. With that, let's get it.